Times are hard, times are bad, grievous times. No doubt hard times will definitely bolster widespread poverty and joblessness. That's why I never bothered to talk about social vices such as romance scam, internet fraud, kidnapping for ransom, etc. The iron law of karma is insidiously active in all domains of human activities. Many Nigerians indulging in social vices will eventually be caught by the relevant authorities. Their lives will eventually be turned upside down. They will experience extreme hardship and retrogression, for this is the way of the iron law of karma. Do you know the names of our invisible neighbors? They attempt the forces of darkness. Satan, the deceiver of the whole world, is their leader. Planet Earth will continue to remain a happening place because we live side by side with the fallen angels of darkness. Right now, money rituals is trending in Nigeria. The fallen angels of darkness are hysterically happy about it, and they want it to continue. What happens when a huge hose supplying water breaks suddenly? Large volume of water will rapidly spill upward and in all directions. This is exactly what happens when a human being is suddenly and violently killed on earth for money ritual purposes. Of a truth I tell you, a human being is a storage tank of spiritual energy. Whenever a human being is violently killed for money ritual purposes, most of the spiritual energy stored within the person is suddenly discharged. In the spirit world, the spiritual energy will spill upward and in all directions. Money ritual killers help to increase the powers of the forces of darkness. Each time they violently kill and mutilate the body of an innocent person on planet Earth. I have said it once, this is twice. Money rituals is trending in Nigeria. Everybody is talking about it. Even House of Rep members are not left out. Right now, parents, siblings, children, girlfriends, close friends, and strangers no longer feel safe. They live in fear of being used for money rituals by evil-minded acquaintances or strangers. When the masses start talking about a particular subject, we should instantly expect the manifestation of blame game. Many people are blaming the federal government for not putting in place skills, acquisition, and wealth creation programs which will meaningfully engage the youths in our country to be self-reliant and creators of jobs. Parents are equally blamed for not doing enough talking and monitoring of the activities of their children. The federal government is blaming Nollywood for featuring money rituals in some of their movies, etc. It is the nature of brother men and sister women to look for someone to carry the can whenever something goes wrong. I blame no one because I know that the souls hiding in the human bodies of proponents of money rituals were filthy and full of flaws before they incarnated on planet Earth. Recently, Mr. Solu, a publicly known money ritualist, lured his unsuspecting girlfriend Sophiat into his room. Mr. Solu and his evil-minded friend killed Sophiat and decapitated her head for money ritual purposes. The evil teenagers interfered with the destiny of Sophiat and the golden opportunity given to her by God to subject herself to earthly trials so that she can become one with God when she eventually departs from planet Earth. Of a truth, I tell you, the home for the soul is the human body. The soul of Sophiat became homeless and started to wander in the neighborhood where she was gruesomely murdered. The evil teenagers who violently killed her were filthy souls right from the spirit world before they incarnated on planet Earth. The devil did not compel them against their will to kill Sophiat. The devil can only possess filthy souls who gives themselves voluntarily to him. Therefore, the accursed teenagers who kill Sophia for money ritual purposes are responsible for everything which the devil may have prompted them to do. Yes, the devil can mislead our senses through disturbance of the mind. The devil can plague your mind with seemingly irresistible suggestions, etc. But there is one thing the devil cannot do, and that is the devil cannot change the nature of your soul. Therefore, the devil cannot compel you to do anything contrary to the nature of your soul. All the poorness in Nigeria, Rwanda, and Burundi will not be able to compel certain Nigerian adults and youths to indulge in money ritual killings because of the purity level of their souls. They cannot imagine themselves hurting a fellow human being, let alone kill a human being for money ritual purposes. Many people have realized the iniquities of their ancestors are responsible for yearly mysterious deaths occurring in their families and their inability to succeed in life, etc. Many people have realized ancestral iniquities are often inherited and visited upon the children and the children's children onto the third and the fourth generation.
Numbers 14 verse 18, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children, to the third and to the fourth generation.
The money ritualists of today, the fathers and mothers of today, the bad boys and bad girls of today must eventually become the ancestors of tomorrow. When they become ancestors, the children and the family members they left behind on earth will have to contend with the karmic iniquities they inherited from them. My brother man and sister woman, it is not the will of our Heavenly Father that on a yearly basis one or more persons must die suddenly and mysteriously in certain families. It is not the will of God that in certain families some brother men and sister women must never find a wife or a husband to call their home. It is not the will of God that his children must become hostages of family deities and water spirits. It is not the will of God that some members of certain families must suffer from incurable sicknesses. We have these heart-wrenching situations in many families because of the iron law of karma. Every evil that brother men and sister women do must unavoidably return to their doorsteps. Money ritualists must bear in mind to kill a fellow human being is to interfere with the destiny of the person. You cannot switch off the all-seeing eyes of God before killing a person and extracting the body parts requested by the black magician you consulted. The all-seeing eyes of God and the legions of angelic beings and the laws of karma are watching you as you are traumatizing and snuffing life out of a fellow human being. Anyone who kills another for rituals of riches brings on himself a natural punishment of unimaginable horror. I freely admit most Nigerians are passing through traumatic times, and at the same time, nouveau rich are springing up in quite a number of families. Imagine a situation where a worthless, unsuccessful, good for nothing individual, well known to you, suddenly become rich and he is throwing money around. You will start to wonder, what did he do? How did he do it? These days, quite a number of famished and helpless parents and elders don't have the boldness to ask their children or relatives what they did to acquire superfluous amount of money. Such questions might lead to financial embargo being placed on them, and they don't want that. Some parents and elders outrightly don't care to know what they did. They are okay with whatever they might have done as long as the money keeps coming. Of a truth I tell you, the pressure of coming out of the firm grasp of poverty, the pressure of making it big in life, the pressure of becoming one of the big boys in town and the pressure of providing for their poor parents and siblings have compelled many youths and adults into deep thinking. The world is controlled by thoughts. Deep thinking based on poverty and sorrowful occurrences taking place in your life will expose you to negative thought forms of other people. You can attract, catch, and retain the negative thought forms of successful money ritualists in society, and you will find yourself thinking and dwelling on maybe using a human being for money ritual. If you don't rebuke the money ritual thought form, you are attracted to yourself through deep thinking. The money ritual thought form might persuade you to indulge in money rituals, and much later, when you are caught red-handed, you will say, I don't know what came over me. My brother man and sister woman, thoughts precede action. You must think about something before taking action. You cannot help it if a bird lands on your head, but you don't have to let the bird build a nest on your head. We live in the midst of thoughts. Therefore, you are not responsible for the thoughts that flows into your mind, but you become responsible when you dwell and act on the thoughts you have accepted into your being. If the thoughts of money rituals flows into your mind, calmly shove it aside with good and positive thoughts. The karma of merely thinking of money ritual is not as great as the karma that follows after you have actually killed a fellow human being for money ritual purposes. Whenever I hear of the killings of fellow human beings and extraction of their vital organs for money ritual purposes, I instantly recall some ancient prophecies which predict the destruction of planet Earth through fire instead of flood. Remember, during the days of Noah, flood was used to almost completely destroy the civilization of that time. I just hope that such a drastic step will not be needed today, because there is so much evil, shedding of blood, and killings in the world today. I dare to say, if brother men and sister women of goodwill fails to amalgamate under the banner of the forces of light to fight against and expose workers of iniquities, then the ancient prophecy of fiery destruction of planet Earth may likely come to pass.
Follow us on Instagram at Guru Desai, Twitter at Guru Desai, TikTok at Guru Desai, and YouTube Desires Pathfinder TV.